The fact of the matter would be that it was reported 300 yung nagkasakit. So 300 out of the 5,000 would be around 2 to 3%, and that leaves you with still 97% effectiveness of this vaccine. Pangalawa, yung mga namatay o di kaya ay na-ospital ay kakaunti lang. Lahat po ng bakuna natin, no matter what variants are there, naapektuhan yan, yes, oo, pero meron pa rin naman pong natitira na pagprotekta sa atin.
That was Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere reacting to reports that dozens of medical frontliners in Indonesia have been hospitalized even after getting their full dosage of Sinovac vaccines. A total of 350 had contracted the virus.
Our Southeast Asian neighbor is facing another wave of infections driven by the Delta variant first reported in India. This variant of concern, believed to be more transmissible than other variants, raises questions on the efficacy of available vaccines. Good evening, I'm Gretchen Ho.
And I'm Robbie Alampay. You're watching The Big Story. Let's start with the Sinovac COVID vaccine being under scrutiny again. That's after 350 Indonesian health workers tested positive for COVID-19 after they received the Chinese jab.
But local health officials came to Sinovac's defense, saying that fully vaccinated people, regardless of brand, are still susceptible to the disease. Greg Gregorio has the big story.
The health department and the vaccine expert panel have downplayed reports that at least 350 medical workers in Indonesia contracted COVID-19 even after getting vaccinated with Sinovac's jab. Health officials say that it's normal for vaccinated people to still get the virus because of what they call a breakthrough infection.
Dito makompute mo to kung gaano ka-effective ang bakuna. At alam naman natin na hindi naman 100% effective lahat ng bakuna, whether it's Sinovac or other vaccines, no?
Health officials in Indonesia noted that most of the infections were asymptomatic, while dozens were hospitalized for fever and decreasing oxygen levels. Despite this, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere believes that China's Coronavac is still highly effective against COVID-19.
300 out of the 5,000 would be around 2 to 3%. And that leaves you with still 97% effectiveness of this vaccine.
Indonesia is currently facing another surge in cases, which the government believes is driven by the Delta variant, believed to be more transmissible than the original strain of the virus. In the Philippines, 13 cases of the Delta variant have been reported so far. One of these patients has died, while 12 others have already recovered.
One of the reasons why the Delta variant may be a big concern as well in the country. The fact that we do not have one single vaccine that we are using. Pero dito, ang dami natin varieties. May activated tayo, meron tayong adenovirus, meron tayong mRNA. So lahat sila, iba-iba yung kanilang efficacy.
The Octa research also says that the prevalence of COVID variants should not discourage the public from trusting the vaccines approved by the government.
Any protection is better than no protection, and so we have to simply move forward.
For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Just how more infectious is the Delta variant and what level of protection do the current vaccines provide against it? Let's get more insights from infectious disease expert and vaccine expert panel, Dr. Ronchin Solante. He's joining us via Zoom. Dr. Solante, welcome po to The Big Story.
Good evening, Robbie, and good evening to our viewers.
Okay, first off po, everybody I think is reading about this story coming out of Indonesia. These are medical frontliners reported to have contracted the virus despite having gotten their vaccinations. What is there to qualify about this report?
Well, we need the data in terms of how many of the total healthcare workers were vaccinated. And among these 350, how many died, how many were hospitalized, and how many developed severe or mild cases. No? I'm not concerned with this 350. In fact, if you look at also other real-world data with other vaccines, this is more or less the range of the breakthrough infections. And what is good about this is that I think most of those who developed the infection did not develop the severe form of the COVID-19 among these fully vaccinated healthcare workers. So we need to validate how many really were hospitalized and still survived. No? So that alone is an important data to us to validate.
Sir, maybe you could explain something for us and for our viewers because I think ang basic instinct, ang basic reaction ng mga tao is, naturo ka na pala, nabakunahan na, bakit na hawa pa rin? Ano bang dapat maintindihan ng mga tao pagdating sa bakuna as well as the chances of you still getting infected?
Okay, no? So pag pinakunahan ka, no, like itong COVID-19 vaccine, no, your body will respond to it by producing an antibody specific to that virus, no? And iba't ibang tao, iba't ibang level ang antibody natin dyan, no? Depende yan sa level ng response ng immune system natin, no? And definitely it's not zero. So there are those who will get the infection and then will not develop the symptoms. There are those who get the infection, develop the symptoms, but it is only mild. And based on interim data, yung na-infect, even they're fully vaccinated, majority of them did not develop the severe symptoms, no? So meaning, ang advantage ng fully vaccinated is that you have that antibody that will calm down and reduce the ability of this virus to replicate para dumami. And that's where we want the vaccine to be given to everyone so that protection will be maintained for several months, no? So hindi lahat ng nabakunahan hindi magkasintomas, no? So yun ang unang rule niyan. Pag nagkasintomas ka, it can be mild and less of the severe. Pag nag-severe naman yan, then there's also a possibility that can be severe because your response to the vaccine may not be fully 100%.
Okay, Dr. Ronjin Solante of the Vaccine Expert Panel, maraming salamat po. And just how widespread is the Delta variant? The World Health Organization says at least 80 countries worldwide already have it. That's also our big number tonight. Outbreaks of the Delta variant have been reported in the likes of the United States, South America, United Kingdom, Africa, and some Asia-Pacific countries. In the US, the variant accounts for 10% of cases. In the UK, it makes up for more than 60% of new infections. India itself is being warned of a possible third wave by October, although medical experts expect it to be better controlled than the recent outbreak.
These are the other big stories tonight. You might have to wear your face shield still. Health officials still advise wearing the protection pending a final decision from the president. Gilas Pilipinas just netted its 5th straight win in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers after edging out Indonesia. And the BTS meal is finally here. The one-of-a-kind chicken nugget bundle is selling like hotcakes. 500,000 are expected to be sold daily. These big stories after the break.
Good evening, I'm Robbie Alampay. You're still watching The Big Story. Over the past few days, government officials and the health sector have been reeling different statements regarding the face shield policy. This has the public confused. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us a front seat to this story.
From day one, experts have been one in saying that face shields give users an added layer of protection against the SARS-CoV-2 virus.
Face shields do add a layer of protection combined with the face mask, no? And the protection can go up to 8 or 10% addition.
An added layer of protection, given that our vaccine coverage is still low at less than 5%.
But while the science on the use of face shields is clear, the policy on face shields is certainly not. On Wednesday, President Duterte told senators that face shields should only be worn in a hospital setting. This contradicts a standing government order since December. By Thursday, the Interagency Task Force against COVID-19 was already appealing to the president to reverse his statements on face shields.
We need to have some form of uniformity in what we implement in our response.
The question now, which policy is enforced? Health Secretary Duque says that while the IATF appeal is pending, the president's last statement is the current policy. His Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere, however, says otherwise.
And an appeal has been submitted, and it was pronounced that we will maintain status quo until the office of the president decides.
In the meantime, enforcers are waiting for the final word. Over 400,000 face shield violators have been arrested according to the PNP. In this police station in Manila, policemen say they will have to enforce the older face shield policy.
Doctor informed me na ang pag-transfer talaga COVID virus is through droplets. So that's why we need to wear face mask and face shield also.
Okay na lang to yung face mask, pero face shield, parang pwede nang hindi na.
Microbiologist Father Nick Ostiatico warns the confusing message is dangerous.
So whatever the rule is, it has to be incredibly consistent, right? And the danger now is that no one knows what to do, so no one does anything.
However, Dr. Edsel Salvana of the DOH Technical Advisory Group says that regardless of policy, it will always be better to err on the side of caution.
Kahit pa sabihin nila na hindi na required ang face shield, I will recommend it because it is an extra layer of protection.
I'm Jacob Lazaro and we are One News.
Quezon City offers a different kind of nightlife, catering to essential workers who are too busy in the day to get their vaccines. The program, dubbed Bakuna Nights, proved to be so popular that organizers even ran out of slots to offer in just a matter of days. Mobile journalist Pam Vasquez walks us through the nighttime vaccination.
It's currently 8:25 in the evening here in Quezon City Hall. So as you can see, there are still people under the A4 category lining up to get vaccinated. So this is the Bakuna Nights program of the QCLG, which is designed to cater those who can take time off their work during the day.
It started Wednesday night this week, running from 6 to 10 p.m. and will end tomorrow as the slots of around 2,000 a day have already been filled up. This is due to the influx of those in the A4 category, or those who need to work outside their residences as well as government workers. The demand is so strong that the city's booking app Easy Consult crashed last week when the vaccination was opened up to A4. Quezon City is now also asking for more vaccines from the DOH.
They have been coordinated with different companies na merong mga A4 employees. No? After Saturday, we have to pause muna for a while because wala na kaming first dose vaccines that can be used para sa mga A4.
Many of the ones who took advantage of Bakuna Nights are public service workers who couldn't afford to skip work.
Naka-duty po ako dito, kaya magpapabakuna na ako kasi habang marami pa, hanggat wala pa akong nararamdaman sakit, ay magpabakuna na.
Mahirap po talaga. Kasi po minsan pagdating ko sa umaga, mahirap na po magtrabaho, mag-commute. Lalo na po kanina pagpunta ko dito galing sa aking mga ginagawa.
As you can see, the Vacuna Nights program is still ongoing. But if you compare it during operations during the day, this is more relaxed. As you can see, you can hear they're playing sounds in the background. So it's much more relaxed compared during the day.
One big benefit to coming at night is it's not as crowded as during the day, so vaccinees can finish the whole process in roughly 30 minutes. The Vacuna Nights program is also open to those in A2 and A3 categories.
Maraming tao sa umaga, baka mahirap pumili.
A similar night vaccination program was also launched at Pasolo Elementary School in Valenzuela City, which will also operate from 6 to 10 in the evening to accommodate economic frontliners in the city. Quezon City says it may roll out Vacuna Nights to other areas. I'm Pamela Vasquez, and we are One News.
IATF Special Advisor Dr. Ted Herbosa says Cebu has agreed to follow the national protocol of testing inbound passengers 7 days after their arrival. In a One News interview, Herbosa said DOH experts disapproved Cebu's test upon arrival rule, describing it as dangerous. Herbosa said the policy has a high risk of yielding false negative results. The DOH Region 7 refused to comment when asked for confirmation.
They were asked to follow the 7-day protocol and do a facility quarantine because they had a swab on arrival. If negative, they would do home quarantine, which was the dangerous part.
Time for our next look at some of the day's big stories. House Majority Leader Martin Romualdez confirmed that former Lakas CMD member and President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo hosted a lunch with Bongbong and Amy Marcos last June 14. Speaking in broad terms, Romualdez said their lunch discussion was just another get-together and catching up. There were also exchange of ideas and soliciting of advice on everybody's plans. EDSA traffic volume appears to have returned to pre-pandemic levels. The MMDA said vehicle volume in EDSA is now at 400,000 daily, matching pre-pandemic numbers. Now, despite that, the agency says travel speed has still improved. The Transportation Department has also tallied 150,000 bus riders daily. And the country may now send 6,500 healthcare workers abroad annually. That's after interagency task force increased the annual deployment cap from 5,000. The palace said healthcare workers with perfected contracts as of May 31 will be part of the adjusted cap, while those under government-to-government agreements are exempted from the deployment threshold. And now for the big story in sports. In the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks kept their season alive following a solid Game 6 win over the Brooklyn Nets 104-89. The Bucks had another strong start thanks to the combined efforts of Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Bucks duo finished with 38 points and 30 points respectively. Although the Nets mounted a small comeback during the start of the fourth, it was the Bucks which made a 14-0 counter run to secure them the game. Game 7 is set on Sunday. Time for another quick break. When we return, Indonesia got a beating from the Gilas Filipina squad. The national pool cops its 5th straight win in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. Filipino Army is painting the town purple as a giant fast food releases the BTS meal. A look at how the sales are going after the break.
Good evening. You're still watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay. The family of a minor killed by authorities in an anti-illegal drug operation are rejecting allegations that the victim fought back as being claimed by the police. Romel Lopez with the report.
Relatives of John Derrick Hellis are still in disbelief as they attend the wake of the 16-year-old boy. John and a companion died in the hands of police officers in an anti-illegal drug operation in Binyan, Laguna. Initial police report states that the two allegedly traded fire with the authorities, but the Hellis family doesn't buy this.
Ganun naman po ginagawa nila pag naglaban, sabihin may baril. Kaya gawa-gawa na lang nila yung ano na yan. Maraming ganyan na sistema sa ano, puro nang laban, may baril. Kaya pinatay.
John's mom admitted that he was involved in the illegal drugs, but she believes that what happened was an overkill.
Dapat po, hindi na lang nila pinatay. Hinuli na lang sana, ikulong. Para may pagkakataon pa yung bata magbago.
John is a father of a 1-year-old kid and his 17-year-old wife is currently pregnant with his second child. His companion, 47-year-old Antonio Dalit, was also killed in the encounter. His relatives said Antonio was linked to illegal drugs before, but he had already changed since then. They also don't believe that the police indeed found several sachets of illegal drugs in his possessions.
Hindi naman ho ako pinalapit ng mga pulis. Hindi ko rin ho naman nakita kung talagang kinapkap sa ano niya. Kaya mahirap po magsabi.
May duda.
Oo, na magdududa ako o ano.
A bystander in the area disclosed that the cops intentionally killed the two after he overheard their conversation.
Wala kayong ititira dyan. Lahat yan uubusin.
Anong ibig sabihin nun?
Hindi ko nga rin po alam bago ho mangyari. At pagkatapos nun, pagkatawid ho nun sa ilog, ayun ako, sunod-sunod na ho naputukan ng narinig.
The Binyan police are still probing the incident, but they maintained that the operation was legal.
Hanggang ngayon po, sasagawa pa po kami ng follow-up investigation po tungkol po sa pangyayari po yan.
This is the latest report of the drug war killings after an ICC prosecutor formally sought authority to investigate the matter. For News 5, Romel Lopez. We are One News.
Another big story in sports. Gilas Pilipinas remains undefeated in the 2021 FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers after a dominant win over Indonesia, 76-51. It was a slow start once again for Gilas as Indonesia was able to keep the lead under double digits during the first half. But another Gilas run during the third quarter gave them the cushion they needed. Justin Baltazar and Ange Kwame led Gilas with 11 points apiece. Dwight Ramos posted a double-double with 10 points and 12 rebounds, while Kai Soto and RJ Abarrientos chipped in 7 and 9 points respectively. Gilas is now 5-0 in Group A, while Indonesia moves to 1-4. The young squad will look to close the final window of the tournament on a high note as they face South Korea once again on Sunday. Tune in. Today's a good day for the Filipino Army with the BTS meal making its debut across McDo branches nationwide. Mobile journalist Teresa Ormatam joins us live from Alabang. Teresa, what's going on there?
Yes, Gretchen, we're here at McDo Alabang and we can see that there are still quite a few delivery riders here at the McDo branch, even though it's quite late. And they are here, of course, for the much-awaited BTS meal.
The Philippines officially launched the bundle today. It consists of 10 pieces of nuggets, fries, soda, and South Korean sweet chili and Cajun sauces. Thousands of Filipino Army have went gaga over the launch. But in this branch I visited, there was much stillness. Though the interior slaps so hard with purple-themed decors and props. Some of BTS bangers are also playing on the stereo. I've spotted only a handful of Army dining in. The majority of the head count was outside, where delivery riders made online orders. Some customers resorted to drive-through and carry out.
Unang BTS meal yan na nag-order sa inyo today?
Pangatlo na po.
Dalawa. Kakasimula nyo palang bumiyahe ngayon?
Apo.
Pili nyo marami bang mag-order ng BTS meal sa inyo ngayon?
Sa tingin ko marami po.
Many ARMY took to social media their delight in having their much coveted BTS meals. Of course, I ordered myself one. We can see how unique the packaging is, dazzling in purple and showing the iconic BTS trapezoid logo. Some ARMY took the extra mile of preserving the food containers, like this one who neatly cut out and framed everything, including the order number. Another ARMY even made a face mask holder. Some ARMY I've spoken with said that it's not just about the meal, but their gesture of support for their idols.
Super happy and thankful po kasi meron pong ganito.
May souvenir item na kami at least nanggaling talagang BTS talaga. BTS meal pa siya.
Opo.
Proud fans po kayo.
Yes! Bias B!
Okay lang po kahit walang photo card na kasama, ganyan.
Okay lang. Ako
As a fan, okay na to kahit ganito.
Kahit packaging lang, masaya.
Yes!
Yes, Gretchen. So as we can see here, the number of delivery riders have dwindled a little from earlier today, but there are still quite a few, and also those using the drive-through lane. So McDonald Philippines projects about 500,000 BTS meals to be sold daily in the next few days, over 650 branches nationwide. The promo ends on July 31. Gretchen?
It's nice to see you got to join in the fest. Please order some for us, will you? Thank you so much, mobile journalist Teresa Urmatam, reporting live from Alabang.
And ahead of Father's Day this Sunday, a young artist from Occidental Mindoro just made his magnum opus, a portrait of his beloved old man. 23-year-old Nestor Abayon Jr. paid tribute to his 70-year-old father, a farmer, through his 3x4-foot oil-on-canvas tatang. Nestor Jr. said his father's efforts have been more than enough for their family of 10. As for another exemplar father figure, meet Tatay Jeronimo. Netizens spotted him selling scrunchies in Caloocan. Tatay Jeronimo sells scrunchies for 10 pesos a piece. His business is small but terrible. It was able to send 4 of his children to college.
It's a good reminder of the upcoming holiday. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Araw namin.
Oo. Pero kanina kasi pinag-uusapan natin, pinipilahan nila yung BTS meal, ano? Alam mo kung saan ako pipila?
Saan?
Doon sa pizza na papadeliver mo dito dahil men who matter ka.
No. Okay. Sige. No, in all seriousness, that was a surprise. It was, but I have to say thank you to Stargate Media, People Magazine. It's a huge honor, very humbling, and ayun nga, gaya nga nasabi mo, heading into Father's Day, I can't think of any greater privilege than being a parent and being a father. It's a great reminder of that. So,
double celebration pala. Monday.
That
That wraps up today's big story. Catch us again tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Signal Channels 8 and 250.
Please like our Facebook page, One News. For more in-depth analysis, visit our webpage, onenews.ph. Mask on.
Wash hands.
And stay safe, Philippines. Ako po si Robbie Alampay.
At ako naman si Gretchen Ho. We are One News. Have a good evening.
Hello po.
Good evening.
First time to